Welcome once again to the J Lowe Artist YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me on this artistic adventure. Today we'll be working with ink, pen and ink. So have your kneaded eraser, a number 2 or an HB pencil handy, and any type of ink that you would like to use. But make sure that it's archival, that it's permanent, that it's black, and a smooth ink. And let's start doing some ink drawing. I'm going to start out with my pencil and just work out everything, and then remember everything gets erased that you use with pencil. So I'm just going to start out with my pencil and just kind of figure out where I want to put his head. At this point too, you can figure out what you want to do with his body. Sometimes I'll just do the head first, and then as I draw, I'll figure out things with the body. If you're doing it live, I like to talk to people. I'd like to ask them questions about their hobbies and interests, whether they have pets or, whatever it is. So I know that he teaches ceramics. Maybe I'll have him, sitting at the potter's wheel, making something, and there's like mud flying all over the place. Okay, or whatever you'd like to do. It's totally up to you, but it's just an idea. Then what you want to do is work out your proportions. We've talked about facial proportions. We know that the eyes are pretty much in the middle of the head, so you can work that out. But while I do, I'm going to kind of look at some of the shapes of things. He has some distinctive shapes that make him him. Maybe his head shape, very oval. And so I might want to throw that in. His ears, throw those in. Kind of distinctive shapes. His eyebrows are very distinctive too. This one kind of comes up, comes over. The shape of his nose, how it kind of dips down there. And then his mouth also has a distinctive shape. One corner kind of comes up, the other kind of comes down. And so you can kind of figure that out. And like I say, this is something that you can do, and you don't have to be exact. Just as long as you're close, and it'll work out just fine. As you can. I kind of always start out eyes kind of the same way, kind of that almond kind of a shape. And then I adjust them. Not everybody's eyes are going to be exactly the same, especially the eyelids as they fit into the head. Everybody's is slightly different. His are not symmetrical, and so you kind of pick up on that. And again, these are just guidelines for me. I can change this if I wish with my ink pen as I draw. I think his eyebrows need to be a little bit larger. Maybe increase the size of his head a little bit. But again, this is just a guideline. I can always change things. Then what you do with his body, that's kind of up to you. Put a little apron on him if you want. And maybe I'll have a little dog sitting here and put mud all over the dog's face. And he's looking kind of bored. So then I'm going to switch over to my pen, and I'm going to start out with this number 5 Pigma Micron pen. And you can start out wherever you want to start out. I'm going to start out with the eyebrow. I'm just going to kind of zigzag through that hair of the eyebrow. Try to get the shape of it as close as you can. I know I've talked about eyes before. One of the things that I always do with the eyes is I start out with the 2 little brackets on either side that show where your iris is. Then I'll do a little Pac-Man or a little C shape for the pupil. Some little hatchy lines to go around it, and that's about it. I often will not draw any eyelid underneath. Sometimes I'll just leave that eyelid underneath out. Sometimes you can't see it very well, so why put it in if you can't see it? Any wrinkles or dots and dashes? I'm just trying to create the shape of the nostrils or the shape of the nose. Sometimes people will have little divots or dimples in their noses. Try to get those in. Just some little hatched lines. I tend to do my eyes always the same. That's I don't know if it's part of my signature or what it is, but it makes it easier for me. Sometimes you can put in teeth, especially if teeth are very dominant or prevalent in the person's personality. Other times you can just leave them out. So sometimes I'll just add a little bit here and there, like if it's needed. Last year I did a picture of a guy. He thanked me for not making his nose as big. So now I want to get rid of as much graphite as I possibly can. Just because it's kind of gets smeared, kind of messy, kind of grays out your paper a little bit. And it also cleans it up and makes it look better. I'm going to shift over to this graphics pen. So this graphics pen is just much thicker, and it's going to make it go by a little bit quicker. Also helps clean up any lines. Sometimes my lines get a little wavy. They get a little dodgy. Make sure you sign it. Hopefully you had a fun experience today and learned something maybe, and even tried something that you've never done before. And hopefully somewhere along the way it's made your life a little bit better, because art makes life better.